Okay, let's do this. Hi, my friends. This is diys-by-dar. I am gonna do a wire wrapped tree of life and affix it to a rock. There's many ways that I do it. It just so much depends on the rock and my approach on how I'm gonna take it. For this rock, what I have is I've got 14 pieces of wire, mostly 22 gauge. Sorry about that. Mostly 24 gauge with 2 pieces of 22 gauge. And then when I go to do the bail, I definitely should be able to get 2 pieces of 22 through the top of that hole that's in this stone. Let's give it a try. See if they'll go through. Yeah, they'll go through very easily. I probably could have even used 20 gauge for the bail on this, but it would have been a little bit clunky for the finer wires that I'm using in making the tree. When you think about wire, when you think about gauge size of a wire, it works, I hate to say, just like needles. Guys, I'm a retired nurse, so just like needles and catheters and a lot of things, the smaller the number, the bigger the gauge. So when you're talking 14 gauge, 16 gauge, that's a pretty hefty wire, okay? When you're talking 22 gauge, 24 gauge, that's a pretty light wire. So let me see if I can grab you a heavier gauge wire just to show you what I mean, okay? This here is a 16 gauge, and you can see the difference in how beefy and big that wire is. So the bigger and beefier, the more trouble you're going to have bending it around, and the bigger the beefier, maybe that's all you want to do for just a simple bail wrap. But I'm going to do a tree on the front of this stone, and I just wanted the wires to be a little bit finer. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, just get all your wires kind of even down there on the bottom. And these were all just leftover snippets, which range in length from 4.5 to 5 inches. And my stone here, will measure that. And the stone itself is probably only about 1.5 inches. Yeah, it kind of hangs on an angle, so maybe 1 3/4 inches. So I'm thinking, really that's all I need to make this tree. So that's what we're gonna go with. And the bail wires, you just want to kind of look at that stone and think, all right, I need enough wire to bend over at the top of it to make a bail, and then enough to come down so I can wrap it around the back. And start out playing with copper wire or cheaper wire, so you're not, wasting any of your good wire. Although to me, all wire is good. So I am gonna just get myself a pair of pliers here, and all you're gonna do is start to twist these like a tree trunk. And I'm going to turn it over, and we really don't need one that is that big, because we're going to have some of our roots come up, and even if we kind of put it there, so we're probably where we need to be. So I'm just going to start to separate a few, and usually I like to go in sets of 3, and I use different colors. I have some wire that's non-tarnish. See, that one I got 4 in that group, that's all right. 3 in that group, 3 in that group, 3 in that group, 4 in that group. All right, just take them little groups, and these are going to be your branches. So just give them a twist around. Doesn't even really matter how much you do it. Just give them a twist around and work your way right around. That's going to hold your little bundle together. And we're going to use them as our branches. So there we're kind of starting. I'm going to fan these out a little bit more. These are going to be our roots and kind of our little stumped area, and let's lay it on top of this stone. See, they're kind of up a little bit too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this tree so it's not just a straight tree, and it's going to have some little crinks in it to take up some of that space and pull them branches down. So let's take it that way. Pretty sharp angle. And let's take it back up this way and just give it a little straightening out. And there's just no right or wrong way to do this. There just isn't. Just have fun with it. Yeah, let's try it this time around. Okay, well, that's better. I can still bend those around where I want them to go and still have enough there at the bottom. So just to save me a headache of poking myself, I'm going to cut some of these off. Just go right around. Just, you know, cut them off. Give yourself some length because we're going to be working with that. Now, the easiest that I have found, so you don't have to use any glue, is most of these wires are 24 gauge in this bundle. I have a couple 22s in there. These are 22s, so they're a little bit heavier. What I want you to do is, you're going to give yourself more down towards the bottom than you are at the top. But you're just going to take, and I want you to start wrapping these around your tree. Try to not be real conspicuous that they've been added in, but it also gives your tree more character. And wrap them around your tree. They can go together, they can go separate, but the idea is you're going to take and use 2 of these. Now I'm just going to take and give these that are going to go up for the bale and just twist them 2 together. Just twist them 2 together. See if I can pull the actual branches out of the way. I got that one set of branches is going to be right on top. One set of the branches is going to be right on top of them bale wires. So let's just straighten them out. I'm going to take your stone, put them a little close together, poke them through your hole. Now you have to kind of, don't bend real quick, kind of eyeball it and see where you want it to go before you really want to set it into place. So I got a little bit low on there, but that's okay. We're all right with that. Now we are going to push these out of the way and try to straighten them up. Use a pair. Where are they? Of bale making pliers, and I just have some rubber sealant on them to make them a little bit softer so they don't scarf up your metal. And I'm gonna take, and I want a bigger bail, so I'm gonna probably go right there. And I just use my finger. This is soft wire. And I'm just gonna make that loop bail so you can kind of see where I use these pliers and just bent that. So from there, you're gonna take these two really long ones and we're gonna kind of flip it over, and you want to hold it, you know, a little bit firmly. You want to hold it firmly. Take, and you can just twist it once, twist it twice, and keep them wires straight. You got to twist it a couple times. Bring these wires, you're going to bring them right up over the top. Flip it over. We're just dealing with the bail right now. So at that point, take one bail wire, start wrapping it around the top of your bail. I'll just leave that hanging there for right now because you might want to do something different with it. Now take that bottom wire and just want to make sure I got it pulled pretty taut. Take that bottom wire and you're going to go the opposite direction. Oops, I pulled it a little bit too hard. I'm going to go the opposite direction, and you can see I worked my way up with one. I'm going to work my way down with the other. So we got up and down, and like at this point you can see already when you feel it, it's pretty firm. And the reason stones that have points on the end of them, like hearts or ovals, are easy to do this with. You know, if the stone feels like it's not tight in there, just pull your wires apart and that'll tighten it right up. So we're pretty tight in there right now. So I'm going to leave these two up, and here we have the start of that tree. It's affixed really good. I'm not going to have to use any glue on this one. So now all we have to do is finish up making the curls on our leaves. Maybe a little more bending on some of the branches. I always start at the bottom, and I will take like 3 once again that are close on the top, and just take some flat nose pliers and turn. Make yourself like a type of a stumpy kind of thing coming off. I can do it on that side, and I might do one over here on this side. Take 3 of them, catch them down close, try to curl them around. I ain't getting anywhere here. And then, well, I kind of like that one going up that way, so I'll leave that going up. And the idea is I want to try to cover that wire that's taking that back around with some of my curls so you don't really see it, and you're going to work it into that design. Push both sides up as far as you can, and that just tightens that stone down. And I'm going to start to do some of my curls. These are definitely too long, so you want to kind of trim them. You will get used to how far you really need to go before you get them too short. But basically, if you kind of follow the outline and like the perimeter of what your stone is, usually works out pretty good. So I'm just going to cut them a little bit shorter. Oop, cut that one a little too short. That's alright. It'll be alright. It'll still work out. I don't have to worry about it. Now I have some super duper tiny little needle nose pliers, but you can use different size as well. Sometimes I use them, but I'm going to use these, and I'm going to start on one side and work my way around and just curl it. Just curl it, and then I will take and switch direction on my curls. And I have a very, very tiny pair of flat nose, but I can't find them, so I'll use these flat nose needle pliers. Take and bend your branches down and just tuck your curls, and then let's head on to the next ones. Curl it. You can curl it tight, curl it loose. This one I gotta curl the other way, so sorry, I gotta turn it around. Curl it. Curl it. I curled that one a bit tighter. Curl it. Curl it. Probably like me to shut up. So I will. Oh, don't pay any mind to my poor hands. I put them through a beating. I am a very, very active organic gardener, and I have chickens, and I'm usually working on some kind of project. Like I just got done using some glue, so there's glue all over them. I typically don't have very nice looking hands because they're hard-working hands. Thus, my logo, poor hands. And hopefully I'm not shaking that much. Part of my disease process, which doing things like this is supposed to help that. All right, there I got a load full of curls, so let's press them down and see where they end up and see where I like them and see where I want to put them. You just kind of want to feel them and make sure you don't have any that are sticking up, because that's what's going to catch on clothing and snag clothing. So push them down, and there we go. There is the bottom. Let that focus in. There we go. That is the bottom of the roots, and that might change by the time I get to the end as well. I feel one catching me. It's this one right here. If you're wondering what I'm talking about with disease process, I have a blog, diys-by-dar.com, and you can go on there and look at autoimmune disorders, which I have quite a few of them, and it has caused some nerve damage, and that is the shaking. Alright, that one wasn't, I couldn't get it, so I just turned it over so the pokey part is towards the stone. All right, now we're ready to go to the top. And I kind of look at the stone, and I can start to maybe form some of the branches to go maybe in a special way. And I usually just use my hands with that. So that one should, you know, kind of maybe go there, and then I'll kind of put that one there. Maybe give it a little crunch to one direction. When I get to that top one, that's where we do a little bit of working with these other wires, the ones from the top. So we're going to leave that part to last, but we're going to do the branches. So I'm going to take and separate what we got up here at the top so we can curl them. I think you guys can get it. So I am going to probably go on fast forward at this point. Okay, so there's the back. There's the front. There is the front. And just a lot of fun to do, and not sure how long it took me to complete this, maybe half hour, but just put it on your chain, your cord, and they're lots of fun. Sometimes too, if you get in the mood, you can put gemstones in the trees to represent children's birth dates, or I have some star crystals that could be put in, or some little moon faces that can be put in, and I've seen people do actual very small moonstones, which are really cool. But there it is. Thanks for watching.